Million-dollar wardrobes, lavish apartments, and the chance to quarantine in style. Turns out, life ain't so bad when your parents are Hollywood royalty. Who'd have thunk it? You won't be surprised to hear that Suri Cruise lives a life of luxury, and you can probably guess where that money comes from, too. When Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise divorced in 2012, Holmes won full custody over Suri. Holmes has made a ton of cash from her roles in TV and film over the years. For example, she's reported to have earned around $4.2 million during her time on Dawson's Creek alone, while she brought home a whopping $1 million for her role in Batman Begins.
It's not who you are underneath. It's what you do that defines you.
Holmes is also estimated to have earned millions more through other endeavors, such as her businesses and real estate investments. As a whole, Holmes's assets are believed to be worth approximately $15 million. Depending on her spending habits and investment portfolio, however, the actor could be worth much more. But what about Suri's dad? Reportedly, Tom Cruise hasn't actually seen his daughter since his marriage to Katie Holmes fell apart. A source told Us Weekly that it all comes down to Cruise's involvement in Scientology. Every person is allowed to see their child if they wanted to. He chooses not to because she is not a Scientologist.
So what do you say? We need to clean this place up? Huh?
But that doesn't mean Suri hasn't benefited from Cruise's success. Holmes and Cruise's divorce document stipulated that Cruise pay his ex-wife $400,000 per year in child support. In addition, Cruise was reportedly responsible for paying all of Suri's medical and dental bills. Fashion brands have battled for Suri's attention for about as long as she's been alive. Desperate for a bit of free marketing, designers from across the globe would send their priciest clothing to Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes' house. Although Holmes wasn't sure what to do about all these expensive gifts, Cruise was reportedly quite pleased with them. Before long, Suri had accumulated a wardrobe fit for a princess. In 2012, Vogue reported that the then 6-year-old's clothing collection was worth an estimated $3 million.
She loves this dress, yes.
This seems to have caused some strain between Cruise and Holmes, however. A source told Star, Tom loved to spoil Suri and indulge her, but Katie has other ideas. When Holmes and Cruise split in 2012, Suri's wardrobe of designer clothes was one of the first things to go. According to the same insider, Katie has been returning unsolicited gifts and loans from designers for Suri since she arrived in New York. She's issued instructions to remove Suri from all freebie lists. Following her divorce, Holmes decided to move to New York City. There, she hoped that she could show Suri the excitement of city life. As she once told InStyle, "What I love about New York is that for me and my child, this is our vibe. When there are 25 things to do every night, it takes you out of your own thing."
She makes every day great and awesome and better, and I know myself more because of her.
For Holmes, part of the joy of city living was being able to rent a gorgeous apartment. Thanks to the combination of her earnings and Cruise's child support checks, Holmes was able to raise Suri in a penthouse located in the trendy Manhattan neighborhood of Chelsea. According to the New York Post, her 2,400-square-foot apartment offered sweeping views of the Empire State Building. One of the apartment's best features was reportedly a hidden entrance to the Whole Foods supermarket located right downstairs. Of course, since the penthouse also had room for a private chef, Holmes and Suri probably didn't need to do their own shopping anyway. Although Suri grew up in a gorgeous New York City penthouse, she also enjoyed the immense privilege of having more than one family home. Just 2 years after moving to the Big Apple, Katie Holmes purchased a $3.8 million property just outside of Los Angeles. The property's grounds boasted a swimming pool, a fire pit, and a basketball court, as well as an outdoor kitchen for al fresco dining. It seems that the duo didn't take advantage of their LA home as much as they might have expected, however. Per Page 6, they were only very rarely spotted out in LA. Holmes then sold the property in 2020, a mere 6 years after making the purchase. Although the actor was ultimately able to sell the mansion for just over $4 million, Better Homes and Gardens described her profit margin as cool. At a guess? It's entirely possible that for some reason Holmes was eager to get the house off her hands. As the daughter of 2 famous movie stars, Suri Cruise has also been known to attend a number of high-profile events. In 2015, for example, she joined her mother for the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. That night, Suri crossed paths with other celebrity children. Angelina Jolie was in attendance, accompanied by her kids, Shiloh and Zahara. That wasn't to be the last time that Suri would step into the spotlight either. Later that same year, Holmes brought her daughter to the Global Citizen Festival in New York City. The festival was attended by several major voices for peace, including Michelle Obama and Kerry Washington.
We can change the world.
At one point during the event, Suri even joined her mother on stage in front of tens of thousands of people. Thanks to her famous parents, Suri has also been involved in a number of movies. Speaking to Glamour, Katie Holmes once said, "I hope she always does something on my films. I always ask her." Suri has collaborated on a number of her mother's projects over the years, often singing in the movies that Holmes has directed. Her cover of Blue Moon was played in the opening credits of Holmes's Alone Together, while her vocals were also featured in her mother's next film, Rare Objects. Holmes herself feels it's only right to include her daughter in her work. As she told Glamour, "It comes out of love for me to include someone who I love dearly. That's how I like to work. I like to have that kind of feeling. It was very meaningful to me to have her there because she's my heart."
I feel very proud.
Holmes often takes Suri on a number of exciting vacations. The mother-daughter duo have been spotted out on these ski slopes on more than one occasion, for example, and Suri has developed some serious skiing skills too. During an appearance on The Tonight Show in 2018, Holmes bragged that her daughter had surpassed even her on the slopes.
She's really good, and I'm trying to keep up. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's like,
Not the double blue.
That wasn't the only time the actor has raved about Suri's talent. The same year, a fan overheard her boasting about her daughter's ski skills at a burger joint in Las Vegas. The eavesdropper told Page Six. She was saying how after only a few days on the slopes at Deer Valley, Suri's mastered black diamonds. Located in Utah, Deer Valley is considered one of the most premier ski resorts in the United States, with daily lift tickets costing as much as $300. The COVID-19 pandemic wasn't an easy time for most New Yorkers. With businesses shut down and many people stuck in quarantine, the vibe in NYC in 2020 was tense, to say the least. Luckily for Holmes and Suri, they had the resources to flee their hometown for greener pastures. Rather than quarantine in the Big Apple, they headed to a peaceful lake house where they could wait out the pandemic in peace. Holmes told Amazing Magazine, "I painted, we had a sewing machine, so we were making quilts, we were cooking, we were on a perpetual vacation. We were also on a lake and there was a hammock, so I would wake up, sew, have coffee, take a nap on the hammock." In the evenings, Holmes said that she and Suri would watch Dirty Dancing and practice their moves.
nobody puts baby in a corner.
She said, "Let me tell you, I danced to it in the living room and it still holds up. It was fun." In 2024, Suri left the nest and headed off to university. Rumor has it that Holmes originally wanted her daughter to study in New York, but in the end, Suri decided to attend Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Ever the understanding parent, Holmes told Town & Country that she supported Suri's decision. She said, "I'm proud of my daughter. Of course, I will miss the close proximity, but I'm really proud of her and I'm happy." Although tuition at Carnegie Mellon costs around $65,000 per year, reports indicate that Suri won't need to take out student loans to graduate. According to the Daily Mail, Suri's dad will be paying for her full tuition. A friend of Cruz's told the outlet, "Tom is indeed paying for Suri's tuition. He has always paid for her schooling and would never stop as he is a stand-up guy. He has never hesitated paying his daughter's child support and expenses. He does not go back on his word. He is fulfilling his obligation." Obligation is the right word, of course. Per an agreement reached during the divorce, Cruz is legally bound to pay for his daughter's education. It's one thing to be able to live a life of luxury thanks to your substantial family fortune, but it's another thing entirely to use that money to give back. In 2019, Katie Holmes and Suri Cruz traveled to Greece to visit the Moria refugee camp with an organization called Artolution. Together, the mother and daughter spent a week volunteering with the women and children who lived at the camp. Holmes later recognized what a privilege it was to be able to dedicate her time to something she cared about. Following the experience, she wrote on Instagram, "I love these women who became our friends as we collaborated on many different projects this week. I am so very grateful for this experience. The resilience of these women is so profound and truly inspiring to witness." While Suri didn't publicly speak about her own time with Artolution, photos shared to her mother's Instagram showed her playing with many of the refugee children.